5, 4, 3, 2.
Crank it, Jerry.
Welcome to Into the Wild, the official podcast of the Washington Wild Pigs.
What do you hear? What do you say?
It's the best sports podcast in the world. Wait, is that true?
If you're committed enough, you can make any story. I once convinced a woman that I was Kevin Costner, and it worked because I believed it.
Now, here's your host, Kyle Dawson.
Did you get the popcorn?
Back on the Wild Things Baseball Network to wrap this one up for you. The final score, Joliet 4 and Washington 2. As the Slammers even the series, pick up their 11th win of the year to go to 11-15 and drop Washington in the process to 17-8 through 25 games. Not too shabby. A lot of baseball to be played still. That's why ones like these really don't hurt. Now, would you have liked to win the game? Sure. You want to win every game, but in reality, that is not going to happen. So you pick up your heads, you learn from it, you scrap it, and the great thing about baseball is you'll get another chance tomorrow, and you're going to send your ace to the mound, and Kobe Foster, if you're the Washington Wild Things, to try and earn you a series victory here to have a winning homestand before that daunting road stretch begins. Let's begin with the scoring. Danny Erb, Kyle Dawson with you on our Wild Things Baseball Network postgame show and our Into the Wild podcast highlights. The second inning started the scoring. Leadoff single by Jonathan Sierra, followed by a single by Antonio Valdez. That hit off of Frigio's ankle. Dariel, the starter for Washington, suffers the loss today. He ended up giving 5 singles up in the second inning. The back 3, one by Victor Nova, one by Jake Allgaier, and one by Liam MacArthur, all plated singular runs for the Joliet Slammers, as those 3 would knock in runs to make it 3-0 in favor of the Slammers after an inning and a half. The Slammers would add a run in the top of the 5th inning on a solo homer by Chris Davis. That came against Christian James, who would work the next 3 innings for Washington after Frigio left the ballgame after 3 innings, 5 hits, 3 runs, all earned, 2 strikeouts and a walk. CJ punched out 2 and 3 innings of work, allowed 2 hits and 1 run on the homer to Chris Davis that made it 4-0 in the top of the 5th inning. Washington got on the board in the bottom of the 5th, the leadoff double by Quincy Lattimore. A couple batters later, he would go to third on a flyout to right field by J.C. Santini. And then a base hit by Carson Clowers brought home Lattimore to make it 4-1.
Runner on third for Carson Clowers. Here's the pitch. Carson Clowers will get the Wild Things on the board with a base hit here. That will drive in Lattimore. So an RBI single for Carson Clowers.
And then Washington scored a run in the bottom of the 6th inning after a leadoff walk to Evan Berkey. Wagner-Lagrange split the outfielders in right center. Davis and Sierra could not get to it. Lagrange's RBI double made it a 4-2 game in the bottom of the 6th inning, and that is where we would finish at 4-2.
Here's the pitch from Grace. Lagrange gets a hold of that one and sends it into the gap. It's going to be extra bases. Evan Berkey rounds second, and he's going to be waved home, and Wagner-Lagrange will stroll into second base with an RBI double. And the crowd is buzzing now.
The final line totals for Joliet: 4 runs on 7 hits, no errors, and 4 left on base. The Wild Things, 2 runs on 5 hits, no errors, and 5 left. The winner is Frank Plesac. He is deemed the most effective reliever this evening. An inning and 2/3, he retired all 5 batters he faced with a strikeout. On 15 pitches, 10 for strikes. Cameron Smith a hold. Cole Wesneski picks up the save, his first for the Joliet Slammers this year, as he works a scoreless 9th around the check double. More on that in just a moment. The loser, as mentioned, is Dario Frigio. Fridge falls to 3-2. 3 innings, 5 hits, 3 runs, all earned, a walk, 2 strikeouts. Christian James, 3 innings as mentioned in relief. Frankie Giuliano set down all 4 batters he faced with 3 strikeouts in an inning, a third of scoreless work. And Hunter Stevens did not allow a hit or run in an inning and 2/3, walked 1, hit 1, and punched out 2 for Washington. Stevens threw 30 pitches, 18 for strikes, is the 4th reliever for Washington tonight that came onto the mound and did some work. Gio had a good start his last time out, especially so after the first inning in Florence, as he gets a 1-2 swing and a miss for a strikeout. And that is how the ball game begins today.
As Algier is backed into a 2-strike count, no balls. Here's the pitch. Strike 3. Got him with the backwards K. And Christian James comes into the game, does his job. 1-2-3 inning. Swung on and missed for Christian James's second strikeout
this year. Here's the 0-2 from Giuliano, another wave and a miss at the slider. Right now, a swing and a miss by Allgaier, another strikeout for Giuliano, 2 away. Giuliano brings home the 0-2, wave and a miss. Frisbee home is strike 3. And Evansville leads Florence 3-1 top of the 5th at Bosse Field. 1-2, wave and a miss. He was way late on the fastball at 95 for a strikeout for Stevens, 2 away. The Joliet Slammers win moves them to 11-15. The Wild Things loss drops them to 17-8 on the year. The time of the game, 2 hours and 22 minutes, and played in front of an announced attendance tonight, a second consecutive sellout, 3,456. Took it in at Wild Things Park on Salute to Service night, presented by Nicole Malesic at Realty One, with a hat giveaway presented by GI Plumbing. And, of course, can't forget the jersey auction that is ongoing on the Wild Things dugout side of the field right now, presented by 84 Lumber. More on tomorrow's rubber game in a minute. But Andrew Czech extends his on-base streak to 57 games. He waited till literally the last second to do it, down to his final strike in tonight's game. But the double put a base runner on, allowed Washington to bring the tying run to the plate in the bottom of the 9th inning. 1-2 home to Czech. Line drive down the right field line. It is a fair ball and up against the wall. Andrew Czech pulls into second, extends the on-base streak to 57 games. Could not bring anything across, and the Wild Things fall in the series as even, Danny.
Yeah, I think the only thing I can hang my head about this game is, you know, we did have 5 hits, but it was what we did with the hits that was the problem. The Wild Things only had 2 hits with runners on bases, and I mean they scored both times. So if you're getting hits with runners on base, that's the best recipe to drive in runs. And I mean, no home runs for the Wild Things tonight, but you don't need to hit home runs to win games. And sure, they would have been nice tonight, but the only really upside was the 2 doubles, or the 3 doubles that we had tonight. 1 from Lattimore, 1 from Lagrange, and obviously the 1 from Czech to start the 9th inning to extend his streak. But yeah, 5 hits. I can't be mad about the 5 hits, but just leaving the runners on bases and stuff like that. The Wild Things, they struck out, I believe it was 8 times, if my counting is correct this time. But yeah, the pitching for us was solid. I mean, after that second inning, I only gave up 1 run, and it was that home run. But besides that, there wasn't too much base hits after that. In fact, I don't know if that might have been the last base hit of the game for
the home run.
Yeah.
Yes.
That was the last hit of the game. So after that 6th inning, Wild Things had that much time to come back and, you know, build up on runs, and they just couldn't capitalize on runners on base. I think that was the big problem tonight. But again, well, we've said it before, still 9 games over 500. There's absolutely nothing to hang your head about if you're on this club, and still a bright future for this team.
17-8 ain't too shabby through 25 games, I'll tell you that much. They'll play their 26th tomorrow. The rubber game of the series is scheduled for 5:35 p.m. Eastern Time. It'll be right-hander Jake Armstrong out of the USPBL in his Joliet debut. He is 1-1 with a 4.56 ERA. I mean the debut in terms of his first season with Joliet. 1-1, a 4.56 ERA, takes on Washington ace Kobe Foster, who is 3-0 with a 1.47 earned run average on the season. I believe that is second in the Frontier League coming into play tonight. I don't know that anybody has bested that. It's actually third behind Teague Conrad in Gateway and James Bradwell in Quebec. Conrad at 1.11, Bradwell at 1.33. The best 3 ERAs, with Foster's 1.47 in the Frontier League so far this season. So that matchup at 5:35. It is toy and game night tomorrow at the ballpark, presented by Point Park University, with special appearances by Buzz Lightyear, Jesse, and Barbie. And we've got a Kids Eat Free Sunday presented by Blueprints. The kids 12 and under get in for free and get a meal voucher for free to have hot dog, chips, and a drink, the kids' meal at the ball game tomorrow. Until then, we will say so long as we wrap things up tonight. Our crew tonight, Sammy Kessler, Logan Arblaster, and Dylan North on our cameras. Our director was Reese Clausen, and our producer, Carlin Whalen. For Danny Erb, Kyle Dawson, saying so long for all of us at the Wild Things. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for being someone who served it. On the Wild Things Baseball Network this evening, the final score once again, Joliet 4 and Washington 2. Rubber game of the series tomorrow, 5:35, airtime 5:05 on the Wild Things Baseball Network. Good night.